Hi, good morning and welcome to my Flosstube channel. My name's Natalie and this is Sew Stitch Sew Nat. You can also find me on Instagram as well as here on YouTube. I don't really do Facebook that much, and I'm back after a 5-month hiatus. Apologies, life stuff got in the way, but I'm not going to go into that on this video, and as you can tell, a little bit nervous, a little bit rusty, and I'm hoping the sun's not too bright, but we'll see. I'm sure it's just going to downpour in a minute anyway, so it'll go all dark and gloomy, so apology about the lighting. I've got I wouldn't quite call it a WIP parade because I'm not going to show the WIPs I haven't worked on this year, but I've worked on an awful lot despite not recording. I've currently got 55 WIPs and over half I'm going to show you today. I've also got some starts and finishes. I've got one UFO down here, the other one is upstairs somewhere. I think I've got six finished objects I can show you. I think the other one I can put a photo in for, because it's a present, but they don't watch this channel, so that's fine. Right, yep. Yeah, it's getting to the point where do you restart or do you just carry on? Let's just dive in. I probably need to shuffle around a little bit. So I've got like almost 3 full baskets, like washing baskets full of projects. So, as some of you may know who've been watching it a long time, my oldest project is Victorian charm. That's not changed. Hopefully this won't be too glary, so that's what it'll look like, as most of you probably know. If you like dimensions, go and check out whichever project kit you want, because now they're officially out of business, the kits on the second-hand market are going really fast. There was a kit that I wanted and didn't get it. I got lucky on eBay, it came up cheaper than it was on Amazon, and Amazon was saying 6 months delivery, and you know when that happens it isn't going to happen. So yeah, so I've now got it, and I'll maybe show it next time. So this is my progress. So one part of the house is almost done, and as you can see I've started moving across to the other side. I haven't done, like, there's loads of half stitches in the background, so I haven't done that. Why did I open that from the bottom? I don't know. So yeah, so all this trees and sky and that I think are all half stitch. So really, literally I just got to do this part of the house, and the spindly bits at the top that I've forgotten the name of. Gating? No. Fencing? Maybe. I absolutely love this because it's got a black cat in it. I think I picked this out for one of the Laura Stitching by the Shores I Spy challenges. So it got a little bit of love. I kind of don't want it to get to its 10-year anniversary, which would be December 25th, 2030. Still got a fair amount of time to keep going. If I do that again, that amount of stitching again, then maybe it'll be a finish. Yep. And that is my only project from 2020 left. 2021, I've got 3 of the 5 I think it is to show you. So Hello Sunshine by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. I'll have to insert a photo. I got it when it was a stitch along, so I haven't got a cover photo. And this is over halfway done. Oh, sorry, the Victorian charm was on Kit Ada, which is an 18 count navy Ada with all the kit threads. This is on 18 count Foba, 2/1. Do not recommend. If you're going to use 18 count Foba, 2/2, because the stitches will slip. So I'm doing it 1 stitch at a time at the minute. Sorry about the hanging threads. Yeah, don't expect anything ironed. Hanging threads. So that's what that looks like. So I've got come down this side of the tree, and then that's it, done. So yeah, over halfway. This was started 28th of May 2021. Don't have any stats on that. Can't remember. I'm trying to digitise a lot of the patterns, and some just won't go in. I have actually got a mixture of apps as well, so traditionally I've always used Pattern Keeper. I've started using Markup RXP a little bit more, and I've just got Saga, which I've not got to grips with yet. Each one's got its own advantages, and each one will let you import certain things and not other things, so it's whatever the design comes out best in to be able to mark off. So another paper one is Twisted Band Sampler by Northern Needlework Expressions. This is what it will look like. This one's got speciality stitches. This was started on the 3rd of September 2021. For some reason I decided to start it on 36 count Edinburgh linen. I think it was due to the size. Most of the time it's fine, it just gets a little bit fiddly when you try and do speciality stitches, but you can make it work. So the speciality stitches are in 1 strand and the cross stitches are 2/2. And as you can see, I started on this. I was having a bit of fun trying to get it to line up, but I think now I've got it. But I did come over here and start this bit as well, thinking that I would get the 2 to meet up. So I've got a baseline of cross stitches on both sides to be able to match up, but luckily I didn't. I figured out that if I did I can't remember which one it is, this stitch, that I could make the other 2 work off that, so it would line up properly, just so I could get my bearings. And that is in the call for DMC, apart from one which was discontinued. I think I just used the recommended next one to move on to. If you do have any questions, just drop them down below. I'll leave a list of all the projects and designers. Christmas Village. I don't stop myself from opening a pair of scissors, it's not going to be good. So this is November 2021, and I was inspired to start it. So Sarah was starting it. I don't think it's available, but it's Little Fox Stitching, which I think might be a Russian company. I have found it elsewhere, but I'm not sure if it's still in that location. Yeah, so I'm doing this on a 28 count even weave. Brittany, I can't remember. Pearl Grey by Zweigart, Call for DMC 2/2. As you see, it's pretty big. And I'm now at 47.25%, and there is still a long way to go and a lot of white stitching to go. Now I've got some bits in the border to do. Yeah, and quite a few houses. Yeah, some snowflakes and whatnot as well. Yeah. Progress is progress. So yeah, it's got about another % added into it. I think I've only picked it up once maybe as part of my WIP go. Next is, we're on to 2022, and this is May 2022, and this is Always Remember by Plum Street. So I'm changing out the US flag for United Kingdom flag, and taking out the eagles, making some of the flowers purple, and changing We Will Always Remember to Lest We Forget. So I've charted that out already. So this is just a lot of filling, more or less. And the spring mingle is tonight, so I might leave this out as one of the options for this weekend. It's on a 32 count Belfast linen in, I think it's just called light blue. Using DMC, some of which is called for, some of I've substituted. And this is, with the changes that I've made, at 25.37%. Yeah, it's a long way to go. There's a lot of stitching in that one, despite its size. The house all needs filled in, and then you've got all the flowers. The grass at the bottom still needs finishing. Next we have a finish, I think. Oh no. Another 3 projects before the finish. Too excited then. Next we have Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. This was the Christmas wreath. I picked this up after the salad finished. So the blue writing on this is just because I've tried to work out where the parts were for the sale. Looking at images that were posted online. I'm stitching mine on a 32 count burgundy Murano. I was inspired by Reseal from Coco. Yeah, Coco, I think it's Coco Harm Stitchery, I can't remember. Sorry, Reseal. So yeah, I'm technically on part 2, I think, which is the big bow, which isn't a lot of filling, but obviously it's quite a dark fabric. Call for DMC 2/2. And my hope is to make it into a cushion whenever it gets finished. Same with the Gingerbread Village. Next is Opening Gambit, and this is by Long Dog. I need to re-import this into Pattern Keeper because I've got an extra, I can't remember if it's an extra row or extra few rows horizontally. It's fine vertically, so what I've done at the top is fine, but I came all the way down, so I need to rip out quite a bit down here. This is on a 36 count 1/2 with country cottage garden thread ampersand, and I've gridded it in sulky slither. It's just like a gold colour. Took forever but well worth it. And as you can see, I went off a little bit with my gridding down here. So yeah, this is a little bit of work. Where am I at? So with the extra lines added in, so obviously it'll be slightly more in reality. I'm at 16.51%. But yeah, that's my first Long Dog. It's definitely not going to be my last. I've already made purchases. I'm getting tempted to start things. I'm just trying to hold off. So the ampersand is this one. So I've got quite a few of those in here ready to go. Back to do the zip up then. Next one was a New Year, New Start, and that is Mirabilia, which is my own first and only Mirabilia. Yep. Oh, I have picked up a few. I think I've got another Mirabilia and some Nora Corbetts, but I've just seen a new Nora Corbett. I'm very tempted. So that's Dressmaker's Daughter. It's on this massive scroll frame. It's on the cord for which out 32 count. Is it chocolate? Milk chocolate. Yeah, milk chocolate linen. All the call for DMC 2/2. It's got Mill Hill, Krynick, Karen Waterley's. Sorry if you can't hear me, but fighting with the light and the frame. So I've started all 4 seasons, and just slowly making progress on it. At the minute there's only DMC in there, mainly because I've not got down to most of the Krynick, Karen Waterley or beads, but I think I'll probably do the beads later anyway. Next, so that's not got any percentage. I've scanned it in so I can mark it off on notes, but no other. So I've got no way of seeing what percentage I'm at. Loly, which is a Luca-S kit, which is my finish. So this is what it should look like. I've not done these little blue snowflakes and then the random snowflakes around. I might get some charms or buttons, but I'm quite happy with it as it is. This is what it looks like, and that is on a 16 count pale grey Ada. All the kit threads, a lot of white again and off-white. Absolutely loved the pink, doing the pink. So I finished this in the 24 hours of cross stitch in March, I want to say. And I have got another penguin to go with that one as well. I can't think what he's called. I think it's a he. Right, fabric, Artic Blast. So this came up as a prop for I Spy. It was Stitch on Something, that's the name of a book. And I decided to pull out my Carolyn Manning. And that's the wrong way around. So this is a freebie on her Facebook page. That's in the files section. This is what it will look like. Stitching it using the Cold 4 DMC. I'm doing it on a 16 count easy grid. Yeah, anyway, marked out already. So I've gone all the way around and it meets. There is a lot of this colour in here. It's the most used colour. So yeah, I'm now at 10.69%. So I've put another 2% into this. And that's just in Pattern Keeper. So yeah, nice and easy to mark off. And if you like Carolyn Manning, check out the website because she's got a discount on. She tends to do that each May, so yeah. Yeah, there's another, yeah. I'll show you that project. But because I've got two Carolyn Mannings. Right, next one is North America Sal by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. I haven't got a photo, no picture of the finished design. And this one was started 1st of May 2024. I think I'm in part 3. So I'm just going up the San Francisco Bridge. I'm sure it's got a name. So all the bottom bit's done, so I've just got to go up here. Cold 4 DMC, 32 count Murano. Right, so I got in light blue. I just bought the PDF stitch along, and I slightly started it off centre, so there's enough fabric this side, but it's a bit too much fabric this side, but not enough to do anything with. But it's quite a lot of colour changes in that, which I think is why I put it down. And I've kind of moved away from even weave. I much prefer either the Ada or the linen, depending on what mood I'm in. There's no percentages on that one. Right, Glitter Village. This one was started 6th of July 2024. And I've got a mock-up of what it will look like when it's finished. And this is by Country Cottage Needleworks. And I'm using the Cold 4 over-dyed. And I have... That's all that. I even did the white, which is called Bamboo. Yeah, Bamboo. On the website it tells you how much of each over-dyed thread you need to complete the project. I made it on a 32 count raw silver Belfast. Don't know how well you'll be able to see that. So I've done the top of block 1, some of the roof, and then put a couple of stitches in for the next block. So there's quite a lot to do on that one, but it'll get there. Chaos is ensuing down here. Might have to pause it in a little bit. Right, next we have Blooming Swan, which was started 24th of August 2024. Yeah, I think I've made friends with it again. But we'll see. So this is Pigeon Coop Designs. I started it when everyone was doing it as a sale, although not straight away. So that's what it will look like. I'm using the Core 4 DMC, but on a, I think it's called Smoky Blue, 32 count Belfast linen by Swigart. I'm having to think if that's the right way up, but it is. So up here there's a lot of fractional stitches, which I think was what was putting me off on dark fabric as well. But now I'm down here, it's full stitches, 2/2. So yeah, I think my aim is to try and pick it up each weekend and put 200 stitches in it. Because I would like to see it finished, and it's not a huge pattern, and I'm now at 16.41%. I was only at 11.39 at the end of the year, and that one went into markup RXP, wouldn't go into Pattern Keeper, so I feel much happier now. I can mark it off as well. Other fractionals, I think they count them as full crosses, which they kind of are, because you're going through the fabric the same amount of times. It's just it's a fractional. So next is Holly Jolly Kitchen. Right, got the right project this time. Holly Jolly Kitchen. It's a 28 count linen. I think it's 28. With the kit, so this is kit fabric, kit threads, and they use DMC, so I'm doing 2/2. Not quite finished the gingerbread house, but wanted some sort of block stitching which was easy to count. I did this when I was doing 24 hours cross stitching in March. I can't remember how many strands I got in. It's not on Pattern Keeper or anything. And that one was started 24th September 2024. And I need to pause again because next basket and have a little bit of a tidy up. So just a moment. Right, so my next finish is Ruskins Penguins by Modern Folk Embroidery. Not my only MFE finish this year, so that's that one. Mine is on a 32 count Mint Splash Murano. I can't remember if I used DMC or Anchor Black. And B52 500 DMC for the white. No fudging, as designed. Can't say that about all my hands. Not patterns, but yeah, stitches. So yeah, really pleased with that one. I've definitely got a thing about penguins and owls. I do like a bit of monochromatic as well. Speaking of monochromatic, that one I just showed you was 6,386 stitches, And so I started that on the 25th of October 2024 and finished it in February. I didn't write down the date. I put the end of the month. I think it was around there. I might be off by a few days. I have been better at putting things on Instagram when I start and finish them, or progress on the cell that I will show you in a bit. So this is Quacker by Star Parade Designs. I started this on the 26th of October 2024 and came into the year with 5.3%, and it's now at 12.05%. Oops! And this is a 32 count Murano. And I can't remember what the colourway is. Yeah, it's a gorgeous blue, and I'm using Blanc as the colour. It is Azure Blue. And as you can see, the orange just marks out the edge. And it's going to be quite long, so I haven't cut the fabric down yet. But I made sure I've got a nice straight edge. Yeah, always good to make sure you've got a straight edge before you start. I've learnt that the hard way. Make sure I've got the bag that the fabric came in, otherwise I'll forget. And that's all in Pattern Keeper. Next we have G's for Gingerbread Man from Whilst Ira Snaps. This is my second time stitching this. That's what it looked like when it's done. I'm stitching mine on a 40 count Cafe au Lait by Fabric Flair, and it's just one of their plain fabrics. It's an even weave by them, and this is available from Lakeside Needlecraft here in the UK. So that is my second one. Using the Core 4 Weeks for the outline and the actual gingerbread man himself. In fact, I've got, the only thing I've not got that's not called for is the white. I have to use DMC Blanc for that. But the main part of the body is Tiger's Eye, and then it's outlined in Swiss chocolate. So yeah, it's a nice easy stitch, just a lot of filling. I think it's just I'd miscounted when I was doing the outline last year, so then I had to unpick it and restitch it. So it kind of got put down for a little bit. I've got the ribbon, I've got the buttons, I've got the little charm. So kind of designed to be like, I don't know, Christmas tree ornament, but maybe marker for the table for where people sit at Christmas. So my aim is to do 6 of these, possibly a 7th. Yeah, love that. There's a little bit that goes on the back as well. I think it's just initials and date, although I haven't done that for the other one. It's just like a little present and the year. I probably have got it written down when I finish the first gingerbread man. Sorry if you can see the other side of my wrist. I burnt myself earlier in the week. Yeah, it was this week. It's quite nasty, so I'm trying not to show it on camera. So that second gingerbread man is at 43.41%, and I started that one, the second one, on the 27th of October 2024. Next is the Gingerbread Needle Book by Stacey Nash. This was a jingle ball class, not last year, the year before, and I didn't get it finished in time to do the finishing in class because I was diverted by the blue flower, and this chart didn't get released until you didn't have enough time basically to stitch it. So that's what that looks like, and I've got all the bits that I want to go with it. I have chosen my own colourways for some of the bits. Where is the project? So you see I've got a blue door and not a red door. So at the minute I'm just doing the front of it. So there's a bit to go on the back as well. And I'm doing this on a 32 count Country Vintage Mocha Murano by so I got 1/2, which is my first time doing 1/2, and it's a mixture of DMC and I've got Classic Colourworks, which was the blue for the door, called Wavy Navy. I think the rest are DMC, yes, the rest are DMC. So yeah, still got quite a bit to go. Yes, I was struggling with the windows and I've now went for the called for, because I didn't want a flat DMC in there. So the called for is called Whiskey by Weeks. It's a lovely gold colour. Nothing I had matched anywhere close to that, so, and I like the look of it, so I went and got those. I've got 2 of those, so hopefully that should be more than enough to finish that. Yeah, and like I said, I've not started the second half of that, and it's not in. I'm not tried to upload it to the other. I've not tried to upload it to markup. I've tried to load it to Pattern Keeper, it wouldn't go. See, I've only really started getting into the digital stitching quite recently, actually. I would say the start of the year, but I think it's even more recent than that. Saga I've only had for 2 or 3 weeks, but not fully got into that yet. So that one was started the 6th of December 2024. Oh, I've got percentages on it. Maybe it does go into Pattern Keeper and I'm making it all up. I'm at 39.46%. That must be just of that page. That's definitely not of the whole project. Right, next, it's one of my favourites. Yes, I have seen a new one. Yes, I've got some fabric, and yes, I've got the chart. So Flossability's Cabin in the Wood. I think the brand new one is called something about the Savannah, I can't remember. But this was the first one that they released. And I bought mine as a PDF on Etsy. And I'm doing mine on a 32 count even weave Murano in, can't remember which grey it is. It is slate grey. I've seen some beautiful finishes, and I started this for Stitchy Sally's birthday. She's a long time finished. Like I say, I've seen quite a few finishes, but I'm just plugging away on it. I'll pick it up every so often. It's in the Call 4 DMC 2/2, and I'm at 39.46%. There is 2 matching fudges in this, so this bit is too close on both sides, that I'm going to make it work. It's quite dense down here, which I will get to, but I think I'm just trying to finish out the trees at the minute. And I was watching Tommy Sarah's channel, and she said there's a pattern to the stars, and I think the porter was giving her quite a hard job at the end, so I might sort of flip between some of the border and some of the more denser stitching, just so I can keep progressing on it. But yeah, absolutely love that. And you'll see I've got my other possibilities, which is Shack on the Shore as well. So I have been doing Cabin in the Woods as temperature stitching, but sometimes it gets out for a bit longer than that as well. Yeah, I've got lots of, like, this, you'll see as I get towards the end, there's some things that I'm trying to like really gun for a finish on, and like gun for a finish at June, and then some things that are like for December, and then some things I just want to work on, so that's one of them. So Quaker Turtle was my birthday start for 2025, and that was the end of 2024. By the way, I've only got one project for 2023, which is my evening in the park, but I haven't stitched on that this year yet. And that is a chatelaine. It's got all the fancy threads and all sorts. This one I recently contemplated restarting, like I say, because I'm not a big fan of the even weave lately. But this is Quaker Turtle by RETM. I think I got this from 123 Stitch. I'm stitching mine on a Silver Moon 32 count Murano, but I'm using, might help if I actually put the number on there, 3810 rather than 3808 DMC, as I thought it looked a bit dark. And this is where I'm at. And I can tell it's the top because I've stitched a T on the top. So yeah, this is the central motif. That's that bit there. I like the colours. I just, yeah, not a fan of even weave at the minute. But it did come out for a bit of love on my birthday this year. Remember not to do the zips on. Alright, so my other Carolyn Manning is the stained glass sow that came out last year. I think because we were busy at Easter that year, I didn't get the chance to progress on it as much as I liked, and then yeah, it got put to one side. But it did get stitched on holiday that year. So at the minute I've got the outline of the last 3 blocks to do. So if you did the sow, these last 4 blocks were in a different order. I think it was last 3. It was down here anyway, it was in a different order to the full released pattern that it is now. So I'm just going off the parts that I got. So yeah, that needs all the black, rest of the black putting in. and then I need to just go and colour fill to my heart's content with some DMC. There are 2 Cryonics in there, I think it's 2 or 3. The black is Anchor Black 403, and yeah, like I say, the rest of it's just DMC. But it's quite nice, it's nice filling. It's a 32 count Murano, which weirdly isn't bothering me in this project. I just love the jewel tones in it. I want to say it's like plum, I think it is. Luckily the postman didn't come here, but I'm sure he's seen me before. Recording, that is, although not for 5 months, like I say. She has just brought out a new stained glass, and I have got the other stained glass as well. I think she's doing 20% off her website for May. So take a look if you're interested. That's now at 47.9%. There's actually 18,000 stitches, well, over 18,000 stitches in that, in terms of the whole project. I'm at 8,000, well, nearly 9,000. Right, next is my other possibilities, which is Shack on the Shore. Oops. And I have got this on Pattern Keeper, but it's also kitted up with all the paper, so I took it away last year, and that's what it'll look like. This time I opted for a 32 count light blue Belfast linen. And this is where that's at. Call for DMC 2/2. I'm at 30.26, so I've put another 5% in this year already. Mainly concentrated on the hut and some of the sea bits down here. So I'm now ready to go with some darker colours. So I think my plan is to go zooming across basically. This is only just under 8,000 stitches, but it's quite dense down here, and then you've got the palm trees that are quite dense. Plus I didn't mind the border, it's 2 different colours in the border that make up the leafy looking things here. Yeah. I have got something about chalet in the snow. I think that's what it's called. But I've not started that one. Idea is to try and finish one of those 2 first. Whether I hold out long enough not to stop the new one, I'm not sure. Because it's got fabric already. It just needs threads, and it'll be fully kitted, which is a bit dangerous, isn't it? Next is Blue Geisha by Joan Elliott. I got this from Pole Stitches on Etsy. At the time, just available in paper copy, but you can now also get a digital copy that will load up into Pattern Keeper. So I've got both versions essentially. And that's what that one looked like. It's mainly DMC with one, I think it's one Cryonic or Petite Treasure. And I'm doing mine on Pole Stitches 32 count Murano in Atlantic, which is not the call for, but if you look at the full description it'll tell you what the call for fabric is. So I started this at the Caterpillar Cross Stitch Retreat last year, and this is No, that's not the one I started. Tea Goddess is the one I started. So I think I started this in September. 2nd of September, so back to school sale basically. It's now at 5.1%. And that is upside down. Should be that way up. Oh, it's called Blue Geisha. I can't remember if I said that. So yeah, so the gold thread goes sort of around that bit. So I haven't put it in at the minute. There's no beads. Where's the beads? Looks like there might be beads. I'm just making a liar of myself. Yeah, I've definitely got beads in here ready to go. 2 different kinds of beads. So that rates it. Yeah, so Chronic. It's obviously a newer one that I've got. Number 4/028. So I've got some of that to go in. And then golden pearl beads. Just got some spare threads in there as well. So next one was the Barbara Anna 4 Seasons. I think I started this basically as they were starting the last part of the sale that they were doing, like the 4 Seasons sale, which is just on my Flosstube Instagram. Not an official sale. So I've got a part finish on this. So this is by Barbara Anna, available on her Ko-fi shop, which you can get to via Instagram. Sorry, it's a really bad image and I can't make it any better. And that's what it looked like. Mine's on a 32 count dirty Belfast linen and very skinny margins. So I've finished autumn. I'm now working on summer, which as you can see is largely done. For the whole project I'm at 39.68%. But I've still got winter, spring, like I say, the rest of summer to go. My idea is to make it into a drum, so I'm hoping that the skinny margins are going to be okay. It's literally about 1 centimetre, maybe 1.5 centimetres each end. So yeah, skinny. But I love stitching on that as well. I've got so many things I love stitching on. Just need to get them done. That's the thing. So I am getting the number down, but I seem to keep start and finishing things rather than. But I'm getting a lot of progress on some of the things that are already set out. Right, this is the one that I started at the Caterpillar Cross Stitchery, and this is Tea Goddess by Tiny Modernist, and mine's on a 36 count Edinburgh linen in mushroom, and that one's from Flora Shelf. So if you're in the UK, definitely check them out. Super fast delivery, reasonable price, and quite a lot of different size options. So if you're only looking for a small bit, they're great. If you're looking for a big bit, equally. Yeah, it's that way up. And that's where I'm at with that. And I am at 5.61%. I did think about using this for some stitching for the spring mingle, but yeah, I kind of need to outline and then so I can go and fill in more easily, but we'll see. And that's called for DMC 202. It's 36 counts. I tend to do a mixture of 202 and 102, just depending on the look and coverage that I'm going for. Next we're back to the Holly Jolly Sal by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. I'll put a photo in. And I've just seen they've released a new tree, mystery tree for Halloween. Don't know how I feel about that. I think I might wait and see. This is stitched with all the kit fabric and threads. This is a 28 count linen again. It's actually not black. It looks like it's black, but it's not. Yeah, I'm still on part 1. It's really bad. I did manage to get it into Pattern Keeper though, but I think it doesn't highlight the thread colours. It literally just lets you mark it off. So that's what that one looks like. And I've got them at 7.36%. Which maybe that's true. Next is one of the ones I'm gunning for a finish in June, right at the end of June. This is by Stitch Sprout on Patreon. It's a Patreon design. I'm a Patreon member currently. And this was the 12-day sale that started in December. So I've done all the outline of the boxes. I literally just need to go and fill all these in. I am currently at 60.66%. I've not done my stitching for this month yet, and I've got another month's worth of stitching to go. So I've kind of broke it down in sections saying how many stitches I need to do per month. And the total project only has 7,802 stitches. So yeah, so that is going to be a gift, and yes, I know I said I'm going to finish it in June. There's a reason. Call for DMC 2/2 on a 32 count Murano. I think it's called Pewter. And I haven't got it written down, sorry. It's the same grey as... It might be slate grey actually. I don't know, maybe it's not quite as dark as that. Next is... I've got a cover photo. Stargate, which I'm trying to get finished for the end of November. And that's what I don't know if this is still available. I've had it for a while. Pixie Patterns on Etsy. Pixel Patterns. I'm stitching mine on a 16 count white Ada. 2/2, call for DMC. Don't think there's that many DMCs in it. Goes into Pattern Keeper. Done all the outline around here. And then there's 2 blues that go into the middle. So yeah, just need to keep plodding on with that one. Bits in my out and about stitch. So anything like appointments, waiting to pick the kids up. I've got it as like a just grab and go. It does work on Pattern Keeper. So I mark it off when I get back. So it's currently at 29.23%. Next we have a start and finish in January. So we are now on January 2026. You have not seen these before. And this is Artsy Housewife. You've got this. I've not done the complete pattern, and I've only used 2 of the Coal for over-dyed threads. I've done this on Peony Even Weave by Fabric Flair, 32 count, and that's available. It's the fabric of the month. I think it might be available on Lakeside Needlecraft's website. I stitched just 2 over 2. Like I said, I did it in January. My intention was to FFO it and stick it on the front of my, the equivalent of Book a Days, my own version basically. But I haven't done that as yet. But I got the inspiration to use the pink fabric from Laura, Stitching by the Shore. Absolutely flew through this. I started it 1st of January, finished on the 4th of January. Like I said, I wasn't so keen on the vines going round, so I've left them off. Next is actually a UFO, but I'll show it because I've got it here. Just because I got so far behind and then decided I didn't want to catch up. I might frog out what I've done and reuse it. So this is called Stained Glass, as a theme, Stained Glass Temperature Pattern by Zara Design Studios. This was available on Etsy. I only bought it in December. I had 3 different temperature stitches. It works in Pattern Keeper to get the frames, but that's it. So it doesn't tell you the filling. My other issue I was having with it was I wasn't getting enough variation in the threads for to the temperature that I chose, to the colour that I put in there. And this is on a 18 count Ada vintage marble from Zweigart. This also came from Flora Show as well. But yeah, so that's where I got to. I did start doing the March window, but all those blocks there are the same colour, and it's mainly all blue. Whether I'll pick it up again, I don't know, or whether I forget and use it for next year maybe. We shall see. I've done the outline in black. I can't remember if it's DMC or Anchor. I've still got a note of all the threads that we used. Not threads, temperatures. So I can technically still stitch this colour's temperatures. But yeah, I'm doing, for the actual stained glass bit itself, I'm doing 1 over 2. But the frame I'm doing 2 over 2. Yeah, not sure on that one. So at the minute I've UFO'd it. Which probably means I should take the scissors out, doesn't it? And then, oops. The next one have I jumped one? Yes, I've jumped one. So this is the Haid Sal, and I went for the bluebell with the aim of doing 1 page to get the Amy Stewart chart, and it's kind of lingered because they've released it basically. So this was what page 1 looks like, because I chose the bluebell. my intention was to do bear with. My intention was to do that much of the chart, so a bit of some of the other pages. Full chart. Looks like that. So yeah, I was very keen on the bluebell, so that's why I decided to go for that full page. Don't know how I feel about the Amy Stewart. I need to go back and have a look at it. They gave us like regular colour, max colour, max colour, max. Like I think there's about 3 or 4 charts that they gave us. I like elements, but not all of it. So I don't know how I feel about it. And this one's slightly lingered. Yeah, because the needle would hurt my finger. It's on a, I think this is 20 count Ada. Easy grid. It's either 20 or 18. I think it's 20. And I'm using CXC 1/2 full cross. So yeah, that's the page. So obviously I've got enough fabric to do the whole thing, but I think I am going to like take it off the frame and just do, yeah, still undecided. I might crop it to where I was going to crop it to and then decide. But yeah, I've got a good healthy margin. I don't know why I've got holes. I did end up marking out where the 10 by 10 blocks were along here, because it looked like it was slightly off when I was trying to decide where to put the marking, so I just wanted to be sure that I knew where I was going with it. Because I have previously stitched over the line on the first square in the box, and in other projects I've gone inside the lines, which if you've used Easy Count AD, yeah, it's so the line is actually on a thread going across and thread down, so you've got to decide to stitch on it or underneath it basically. And that is at a whopping, I've got a 6.93%. I think that might be just of page 1. So yeah, not a lot. It's got 538 stitches. My goal was to do 500 a month for the first 6 months and then really ramp it up to get to the page finish. But then they released the Amy Stewart chart before, I think literally before we'd even started doing that. So yeah, I was like, oh, I'm still going to carry on and do my page. See what happens. I don't mind the big frame, but it's the big frames, but it's a bit bulky to work on. I tend to prefer things that I can just have in a hoop. I'm not a Q-snap stitcher. I sometimes stitch in hand though. Right, so the next thing I started was on the 6th of January. Until I had a bit of a start binge, apparently. Oops. And this is the Historical Sampler Company All Things Grow With Love. Sorry, thoughts are going through my head. That's why I wasn't talking. It's a gift. And I'm doing mine 2/2 on 32 count white linen by Zweigart, and I'm at 70.353%, 53% even, and I'm just about to start my, well, some of this is my May stitching anyway. So yeah, I'm just gonna, my plan is to maybe stitch some of the flower at the spring mingle. Yeah, and then there's just lots of like little bits everywhere, so it's quite a lot of colour changes, hence why there's some threads dangling. Yeah, my margin's bigger on one side because I did a 3-inch margin, then did a 2-inch margin on the other side when I decided to cut it. Why? Why did I do it? I don't know. It is what it is. Right. I'll just have a quick, I know I'm like ducking down. I'll just have a quick tidy up and then I'll bring the last few projects over. Right, so the last lot of projects. This is Deadly Aquarium by Loly. It was a new start. I started this on the 9th of January. It's on a coffee craft fabric. I think I actually meant to stitch on the other side, but it's just slightly paler on the side that I stitched. It's a gift for December. Whether I get it finished for December is another matter. I think I might wait until the following year. Started on the 9th of January and I'm currently at 8.75%. As you can see, I'm not following the parts. I'm sure you all know what Deadly Aquarium looks like. So I got this at the end of the the printer decided to butcher it slightly. But yeah, my son really liked it, so I'm going to stitch it with him. It's 2/2 on a 28 count Call for DMC. Like I say, it's in Megan Coffee Craft fabric. It's like a, I think it's showing true to colour. Like a minty, turquoisey, greeny colour. I hope to have a little bit like off-cuts left as well, so I really like it as well. Next is another gift koala from Cottage Garden Samplers, which looks like that. I'm actually doing it for my dad who loves Australia and cuddled up with a koala a few years ago. It's on Cafe au Lait, 32 count by Fabric Flair. I have gridded this with Slither, Sulky Slither, Call for DMC and Classic Colourworks. Yeah, Classic Colourworks. I did manage to get this into Markup RXP. So yeah, that's where I'm at. And so far I've completed 16.92%. Next, what do I have next? Next is the Cotton and Twine box for, well, it's winter, so I can't remember if it was January or December. Or even September. No, I finished that one, I think. Yeah, I finished 2 foxes. We are on, can't show you that one. This one, yeah, December. So I've got one I've finished and 2 project WIPs in there. We haven't had the 4th one yet. So the first one I did as a PDF, and the other 2 I've done as a gift box. How do you describe it? So it's Crochet Go-Go. I swapped out the fabric because I wanted them to match. So mine's on a 32 count country vintage mocha even wreath. So that'd be Mirabilia. I did get it into something. Markup RXP, wasn't it? And it's at 18.52%. Yeah, sorry about all that in thread. Yeah, I need to finish the cardinal's beak as well. I've just started on the owl. So my intention is to bring that all around and make it join up and do the bit in the middle. I obviously got distracted by the leaves at some point. Pretty much the same way I'm getting distracted by the owl, one of the owls. What is that one? I think I probably would have spent more time on sort of like my small monthly starts if I hadn't suddenly decided to do a load of gift stitching. Anyway, that's my youngest son's last year of primary school, hence the gift stitching. Next we have my February start and finish. This was started on my birthday, finished the next day. And I think it's ticked over. Oh. And this is a Mill Hill Autumn Harvest on the go. And as you can tell, I've not FFO'd it yet. And that's what that looks like. So yeah, it's on the perforated paper. I have got the wooden frames that go around them, but I think I might have just trimmed off the ends that were snagging on this one, just to make it easier to work with. Yeah, and then I've just got my beadsmith mat stuck to the front of this bag. That's how I stitch them, although like I say, I've got good wooden frames that I can use. I've got quite a few more Mill Hills to go, but I think I just wanted something that was quick and easy stitch this year. I started something massive that's going to hang around for years, hence I picked a Mill Hill and I really wanted to stitch that one. Next start, which is also a gift stitch, is Historical Sampler Company Secret Garden Sale. So I got this after it had finished the sale, but they sent it to me with the sale parts. So there's not one complete PDF. So I've amalgamated it in my spreadsheet so I know what the overall percentage is. But it was quite nice to, as I go along, oh, finish that part, finish this part. So I've finished 3 parts. And I'll tell you why in a minute. This is on a, I think it's a 32 count platinum. No. It's on a, oh yeah, I know what it is. Yeah, 32 count Belfast linen country vintage mocha. The mocha is on that side. I'm stitching it on the reverse. by design, not by accident. So part 1, part 2, get to part 3, get up here. Why is that not lining up with that? Because you're 3 crosses off on this side. So that is why I've stitched, so part 4 I've stitched that part of it, and I'm just going to stitch, technically I don't think it, yeah I think that was 1, 2, 3, 4, I can't remember. Anyway, the last part that I'm doing, getting that to come up around here. There should be enough space between that and the bird, and then I can slot in this bit to try and make it look vaguely symmetrical. I'm kind of grateful in a way that it's not the same flower on the other side. I think I'll be able to fudge it. And that is at, where are we at? 83.51%. So I've done my May stitching on that. I've just got 1 more month of stitching, and that is done. Yeah, and I put the sulky slither lines in to see at what point did I go wrong, and then realise I did it in the first part. There you go. And that's 2/2 called for DMC. Oops. Right, next is the other chart the family member wanted me to stitch. She's not able to stitch anymore. I got it out and got started on it, so the intention is to gift this back again, gift this at Christmas. It's a Dale design, Holly Tree Cottage. I think it's quite old, so and it's on a white, I want to say it's 18 count, doesn't say on there. So I've gridded it, I've taken a picture, I've scanned it in so I can mark it off on notes, and that is what that looks like. And it's one of those sort of, it's that old, it's the hand drawn chart, and there are a few like half stitches and whatnot in there as well, so I need to be careful. But it's not that big, so hopefully it should be a relatively short stitch. So at the minute I'm just marking out some of the landmarks so I can carry on stitching it. And that's with the kit supplies. The only thing I've changed is the needle, which is that tiny little brown rust mark at the top. But it's out of the way of the rest of it, so it should be fine. Next is my Dreaming Girl salve, so I decided to start that now, and this is the spring one. I think next month I'm going to start the summer one. Or is it the month after? I can't remember. I'm just trying to find a picture of what it should look like. This is in Pattern Keeper, yes. So this is what the image looks like. And this is what it looks like with the Call for DMC 28 count bunch of inch mocker in the linen, 2/2. And as you can see, that the blue turquoisey colours not come out the same. I'm happy with it. This is at 52.44%. Feels like it should be more. It's quite a solid stitching there, but there's quite a little bit to go around the outside. And my idea with these was to make it into 4 seasonal cross stitch bags. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I do really like Barbara Allen designs. I did get quite a few patterns before Creative Poppy closed at Christmas. So you'll be seeing lots more as time goes on. I think I said all the call for DMC on that. Next is my quick Quaker sale. So this started at the start of April. Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery is doing daily videos, stitching about 150 stitches a day. I decided to stitch mine on a 32 count white Belfast linen with DMC 777. There is a fudge in it. The whole thing is 1 stitch shorter than it should be. But I can't tell, can you tell? Me and the lady on Instagram, I can mention her name, had the same thought of, oh no, but made it work. And I will be doing the quick Frisian in August, I think. Just need to work out how that works with holiday and stuff, but yeah. It's really easy stitch along to follow actually, because he'd released the whole chart and then told you right which bit to do each day. Right. Next is cotton twine again, and this is the spring version of the Crochet Go series. Again, I got the gift kit with this one. That's what that looks like. You can scan a code in the chart to get the PDF, which is why I've got like a printed out PDF version. Unfortunately, it doesn't go into Pattern Keeper. So when I did the only PDF, it did go in, but when I did the scan and then get a PDF, it doesn't. But it will go into Markup RXP with a bit of wrangling. So yeah, 32 count country vintage mocha. I've used the back side of it. I think I might have done that with the other ones as well. I'm hoping I did anyway. So yeah, almost a bunny. And the needle minder came with the 2 owls part. So yeah, that's spring. Nearly there. I've got one I haven't got to hand at the minute, so I'll have to pop a photo in. And this is by the Reformed Sparrow on Etsy, and they do a smaller one and a bigger one of these crayon patterns. You can see it. So this is the bigger one, so it's got the full name, and you'll see I'm going to do some little ones, so on next video maybe you might have one of those at least, or more. Yeah, because I've got 4 to do. Yeah, plenty to keep me going, don't worry. And my last start and finish, I actually did it all in the same day. It's only 660 9 stitches. I managed to get into Pattern Keeper, but you had to highlight the stitches to know what percentage you were at. It, like, literally read it as the whole thing. And that is a Benja de Vey, so with thigh needle and thread. I've had this for a few years. I got it from, oh, what's the Canadian store called? Traditional Stitches. Not long after I got the Blackbird Designs kit, when I did that for What Remains Is Love. So that's what that looks like. It has a metallic. I didn't use the cord for at all. It's on a 32 count. Look, I was going to do it on a 36 count. Look, I did it on a 32 count. So I've just used black, and I can't remember if it was, I think it was Anchor, so 403. The needle is stitched 1/1 full cross, and then I've used some over dyes for the frog, apart from the mouth and the eyes. It's on my Instagram if you want to see my conversion. And yeah, I'm just going to get a black frame, so I'm literally going to frame it similar to this. I will snip the red dangling threads, which is actually the 777, which I thought was quite funny actually, because I just fudged that and carried on. So yeah, and that is finished number 7 for the year, because that was the last thing I finished as well. And that brought my WIPs back, well, kind of went up and went down again. So yeah, 55 WIPs at the minute, of which 3 are set for a June finish. Yeah, and then some more for later on in the year, but I do want to progress through some of the other things that I've got. Yeah, there's still quite a few big things that I haven't shown you that will take a long time to stitch. Namely my chatelaine. I've got a Twisted Christmas sampler. I've got quite a few things that I'm wanting to start. So there's potential that I might start another 4 things this month. We'll see. And then I might definitely going to start 1 thing next month. Whether I start 2 things is debatable. But one of the things I'm really excited to start, but I want to do my own colourway, is these, which is the Silver Creek Samplers Sing-A-Song series. Yeah, because why not, when stitching by the shore, Laura is doing I Spy sing, can't remember how they called it, but it's basically stitch words in the song. Here are a few of my favourite things. So yeah, I'm doing quite a bit of I Spy stitching this month, as well as temperature stitching, and trying to get my the 3 gift stitches finished. Yeah, it's always busy, always busy. And like I say, it's rare that I've stopped not had a stitchy day in the last 5 months. It's just, yeah, life's kind of got in the way. I've not been able to record. But I will talk about that in my regular Flosstube update. I don't know how long this one is. I think it might be pretty epic. Can't tell because the clock's broken. Yeah, pretty epic. Hopefully, I would say hopefully I'll have a few less projects to show you, but I think less than today, but still quite a lot to show. I want to get back to monthly recording. I haven't shown you any haul today, but there's been a significant amount full, so I might share some of that next time. So if you like what you see, like and subscribe. Thank you for spending time with me. I know there are lots of Flosstubers out there, and if I'm not your cup of tea, I'm sure there's somebody else out there who is. So take care, happy stitching, bye for now.